We're a nation of SMEs. We're a nation of entrepreneurs. We need to grow internationally. How could we do that? We've always had these two customer groups that we've worked with. Established owner-managers who are SMEs or a bit bigger, and these high-tech startups. And so startups, 2001, we started with an incubator, and then we added capital. So then we had to develop the capital people so they understood how to advise. And then after a period of time with that, we said, well, international partnerships are really important. All these things have been added to help those startups find their next stage. If you look at the owner-managers, I think that's been a really different journey, because that has much more been about how do we grow their aspiration while adding capability to them. Where you go with an owner-manager, you help them grow on the owner-manager program, and then they will come back a year later and say, my staff don't get it. And after a few years, we went, right, we should run a program. That's to help the staff realise that vision. That journey over time has been about just following in the footsteps of an owner and their team as they grow, and thinking about how we can be relevant to them over time. We developed this methodology. You focus on the business and how you enable the business to grow. You focus on the relationship between the business and the owner, and then you focus on the owner in his or her own right. It's the intersection of those three elements that really creates the magic, because it helps an owner separate between growing the business and the quality of their life. We went out and interviewed 70 or 80 businesses, and we asked them what were their success points, what were their lessons and learnings. And basically what that led us to was identifying 6 key enablers of their success. And we called it businesses of international quality. We've had about 1,500 New Zealand businesses complete that self-evaluation tool, so we've got some awesome data. And so we're building up the stock of what it means to be a business of international quality in a New Zealand context. A lot of New Zealand business people, now give back to us. They're panelists on our programs, they're mentors, and they've also invested in companies. I think access is not easy for entrepreneurs. I think access is easy for the Icehouse because of the brand that we've developed. Whether it's government, banks, large corporates, investors around the world, I think we have an unbelievable access. When we see a food company going into Australia, we know 5 people immediately who've been there and done that before, who are actually interested in helping that food company. When you go to places like Faro Fresh, or you go to Juicy, and you see what they've created, and it makes you pretty proud that they've done that and we've been part of their journey. The best thing we can do is build the partnerships that help us work with those owners and those entrepreneurs to get them to the next stage. The jobs, the wealth, the taxes will be transformative if we find the partnerships that help us do that over time. That means we have to get access to more customers. That also means we have to find the talent to come into our network, and we're going to have to raise a lot of money to support the growth of the businesses. Final thing is, we're going to need access for our companies offshore. They're going to be growing, they're going to be aspirational, they're going to be wanting to buy businesses. The future is really about resources for the Icehouse. Given that we've been around this long, we think our track record is pretty awesome. We think our focus is really good. And now the next 10 years are pretty exciting.